All right, welcome back to Thoughts Matter. Today I'm here with Martin McCorkle. This is the second video in our Swimming with the Sharks series, how to deal with hyper-aggressive arguments, and especially in the classroom. So in the last video, we covered life with the sharks, what it looks like, and what are some of the things that you should expect when you are dealing with people that are very argumentative, with college professors, and what that's going to look like. And there are some tips in that video. I would recommend that you go back and watch that first before watching this video. So this is it's the second video in the series, and it's part one of
Dealing with the sharks.
Dealing with the sharks, that's right. So the first one's life with sharks. This is dealing with the sharks.
They're coming at us now.
Martin, I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to you.
Great, thanks, James. So, I cannot say enough about this particular topic. And we're going to talk about ad hominem argument. Ad hominem argument is so prevalent. I mean,
Oh, yeah.
it is the go-to argument. And I want you to think this through with me. When you do ad hominem, and ad hominem means to the person or against the person, which means that someone says, I think President Obama's economic policy is flawed. Then somebody says, well, you're a racist. So ad hominem is to the person, meaning that you don't respond to the content of Obama's economic policy. You go after the person who just said that and call him a name. You're a racist. You're a moron. You're an idiot. And when you think about it, it is a really evil thing to call someone a racist. I mean, just because I disagree with a black man does not make me a racist.
Right, so it's an evil thing unless they are actually racist, or is it just evil to assume it without...
Yes, to assume
it, right.
Is really, really... I mean, it disgusts me.
Yeah.
You know, really, I hate it. And so, because some group of people uses ad hominem so much, it really is saying they have so little character and they have so little absolute idea about what they're talking about.
Because it's so often sidestepping. You're sidestepping the actual issue and you're attacking the person instead. Because it's easy. And because it works.
Yes! And that's why we have to have a plan.
Right.
Because people are going to keep doing this until it stops working. But I see it not working as well as it used to. I'm seeing this slowly start to change.
Yeah.
That's right. And people are starting to say, I'm not really liking this anymore. Where before, like 10 years ago, if somebody said, you're a racist, man, it'd be, oh, no, I'm not me, I'm not that way. Rather than dealing with the issue.
Well, in a world where Trump is Hitler,
yeah,
and I'm not agreeing with everything Trump does or says, but in a world where Trump is Hitler, we have to stop and say, no, wait a second here. I still live in a world of relative freedom here in the United States, and so either Trump isn't actually Hitler and they're lying, and they've been lying when they've called every single Republican president Hitler, or maybe Hitler wasn't that bad. I don't know. Those are the only two things that we can conclude. So it's hard to take ad hominem attacks as seriously when they've been so overused. And it's not an exclusively leftist thing, but it is...
more prominent, though.
Definitely, certainly in the racist or bigot side of things. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, during the Obama years, I was called racist many, many times.
Yeah, you and every other
Yeah.
white male.
Exactly. The definition of racist was a white guy who disagrees with Obama. And so you must have a way to deal with this. And thankfully it's not that hard. And it is simply this. It's called agree and attack. Now,
Agree and attack?
Agree and attack,
Okay.
yes. When somebody says to me, like, say, Martin, you're a racist, the intent of that arguer is to throw me off, to stop me from talking about content, and to get me to go into a corner and shut up and think about what an awful person I am. So what you do is you agree with the person and then say, can we get back to the issue? So somebody says to me, Martin, you're a racist. What I would say is, fine, I'm a racist. Now, can we talk about Obama's economic policies? Can we talk about what this actually does and what he's doing?
So that's pretty radical advice. So let's dive into that a little bit, because so what is the motivation for agreeing with it? Is it simply just to get back to the issue and just to almost to ignore the fact that they ignored your question, or is it? I mean, it's obviously a little bit sarcastic. What's your rationale there?
It does two things. First of all, it shows that you are not impressed by what that person said. You're not taking them seriously, and they should not be taken seriously. Okay? Somebody calls me a racist because I disagree with a black president because of economic policy is wrong. Okay? But I don't want to talk about that. I want to talk about economic policy. So the way you get back to economic policy is you've got to neutralize this malignancy in the conversation. So Martin, you're a racist. Fine. I'm a racist. Now, can we get back to economic policy? What is this and what is it helping our army? So it neutralizes the person.
Without ignoring it. It's I'm kind of struck by how brilliant it is, because it's not something that it's not something that I would intuit. There's something about accepting it that it's not you're not missing the fact they said it, so they can't hold it over you that you just ignored their accusation, but you're saying something that they would really have no response to at that point, and you're throwing it back to them in a way that leaves them no choice but to then either walk away or address the issue.
That's right.
Or continue to use ad hominem, which
typically happen.
Right, yeah.
Right, and then you just keep doing. Then you agree and attack. Go back to the issue again and again and again. Now remember, this is key. People are watching. See, now if you say to me, Martin, you're a racist, and I go, oh man, maybe I am. What you're doing is you're giving that fellow a lot of authority in your life. You're saying, wow, maybe he understands me in a way that even I don't. But what I do is kind of you're dissing him. And you should be dissed. It's wrong to attack a person that way.
Right.
And so I want the people around to know that I think that is a bunch of hooey.
Right.
And I'm not even gonna sit in a corner and think about it. Fine, I'm a racist. Now, let's get back to policy.
And I think to make the argument that this is the best type of response, we have to analyze the other responses, right? So the other options, I guess, one would be to defend yourself.
Yeah.
So what's the problem with that?
It never works. First of all, you cannot prove you're not a racist.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Right.
It's not possible. Because remember, force of character is gone. See, nobody who knows me would think I'm a racist.
Right.
I'm fairly confident of that. It's not where my sins lie. Okay?
Right.
So, I mean, people can say that to me and whatever. It's not a big deal. So you can't, though, prove to someone who doesn't know you that you're not.
Racist, right.
And then you usually wind up saying, oh, you know, well, I did this for black people or I did that for
Most
black
of my
people.
friends are black, yeah.
Yes, exactly. And then what happens, and this is what the guy wants, is he becomes the judge of your heart. He says, oh, yeah? Well, yeah, you're the white guy who has a couple of black friends, right? Yeah, we know all about that. And also,
You're just giving them more power.
Yes!
Yeah.
Yes! Instead of neutralizing it and taking it away. And if I guarantee you, if tomorrow, 80% of the people who got out in an argument started doing this, in 6 months, this would be gone. People would not do it anymore because it would be gone.
Is there a risk of being taken seriously when you accept it?
No.
Of people actually thinking, oh, he just admitted it?
No, because of how I said it.
Okay.
Because you got the satire in it.
Right.
But
satire is so often lost in social media, which is part of where we're discussing this. So that's why I'm hesitant, because there's a rule, I don't remember who said this, but basically that anything, unless it's extremely like over the top satirical, anything said on the internet will be taken at face value.
Good.
And so
now,
there's that risk.
We're getting ahead of ourselves to talk about satire.
Okay.
That was last, but it's a good question. We'll deal with it now. If I was doing this on Facebook, and I said, I have some concerns about Obamacare, which I did.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy said, Martin, you're just a racist. You can't handle being led by a black man. And if I was on doing Facebook, I would say, oh, you're right, man. You see exactly what I'm thinking about. I mean, you look at my heart. You know I'm a racist. You got this. I mean, it couldn't be that I'm just interested in healthcare. I mean, there's ways you can add to this to make it.
So just making it very explicit that you're being satirical.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
And I'll talk more about satire later on.
Okay, we'll take that.
But I think in conversation, most people will pick up on the sarcasm. And the fact that you don't get all in a huff about it, it's still going to neutralize your opinion.
And also the fact that no one does this. It's so out of it's just out of line with what's typically done in this type of conversation. It's clear that it is a tool or a tactical response. I think you're right. I just wanted to address that because I think it certainly could be in a world where technology often distorts communication. It's important to address that issue. Okay.
And then let's imagine, though, let's take us one step further. And I'm glad we're taking so much time on ad hominem because this is key.
That's just used so often.
So a guy says to me, Martin, you're a racist. I say, fine, I'm a racist. Can we get back to Obamacare? And he goes, oh, you admit it? So you're a racist, right? Let's say he jumps on that. And then I would stop. I'd look at him and say, look, I'm a racist. Does that have anything to do with Obamacare? I want to talk about Obamacare. Do you or do you not want to talk about Obamacare? If you want to call me a racist, go ahead. If you want to talk about Obamacare, I'm listening.
At that point, they have no choice.
That's the
to
thing,
talk about the issue.
But I've had lots of people follow up after I said that. Because they think they got me.
Right.
They're thinking, oh, the white guy said he's a racist. I got him now. The person that uses the ad hominem argument, who doesn't know you, and is just saying you're a racist to get you off the argument, this is not a good thing. We need to respond to that and get back to the argument. So agree and then attack. Go back to what you're saying. After I started doing this, I saw Dennis Prager. Prager, sorry. And he did it about abortion. Like, he would start an abortion thing, and they'd say, well, you just hate women. You just hate women. And he'd say, fine, I hate women. But let's talk about whether or not this unborn baby is alive or not. And I thought, there it is. Independent cooperation. Somebody else came to the same idea.
Yeah.
So agree and attack. Ad hominem. Don't get drawn into it. Don't let them be the judge of your life.